Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources. Updating daily at 6 a.m. New York.
Washington Post World.
June 22, 5:07 America, New York. Officials, militants ambush security post in Yemen, 8 killed. Yemeni officials say suspected al-Qaeda militants have attacked a security post in a southern province, sparking clashes that left 5 troops and 3 militants dead. New York Times World News.
June 22, 5 o'clock America, New York. In 2 elections, North and South, Boris Johnson risks a sharp rebuke. Scandals, economic pain and an uproar over lockdown parties have left Britain's Conservatives at risk of losing both recent advances and old strongholds. Simon Lightfoot, Centre, is the leading opposition candidate in Wakefield, where a member of Parliament for Britain's governing Conservatives resigned after a sexual assault conviction. The Washington Times Stories. Advocacy.
June 22, 4:39 America, New York. Sri Lanka PM says economy has collapsed, unable to buy oil. Sri Lanka's Prime Minister says its debt-laden economy has collapsed after months of shortages of food, fuel and electricity.
Mirror World News.
June 22, 4:33 America, New York. British Airways crew in isolation after one tests positive for monkeypox. Health officials reportedly detected the infection in a steward once staff were tested after landing on Sunday evening, with the crew placed in quarantine for 21 days.
New York Times World News.
June 22, 4:28 America, New York. Funerals in Lviv show growing toll of Ukraine's war. The funeral for Artemy Diomide, a Marine who loved the sport of parachuting, was the first of 4 on Tuesday for local soldiers killed in the heavy fighting against Russia in eastern Ukraine. Mourners prayed and sang during Artemy Diomide's funeral at the Lychakiv Cemetery in Lviv, Ukraine on Tuesday.
Fox World News.
June 22, 4:23 America, New York. Journalist, soldier killed in Ukraine were coldly executed, press group says. New evidence found near the bodies of a photojournalist and a soldier killed in Ukraine suggests they were executed, Reporters Without Borders said.
Washington Post World.
June 22, 4:18 America, New York. Earthquake hits Afghanistan, killing at least 285 and flattening homes. The 5.9 magnitude earthquake sparked tremors that were felt in Pakistan and India.
Mirror World News.
June 22, 4:17 America, New York. Ukrainian drone strikes major oil refinery inside Russia in fresh blow for Putin. We'll be bringing you the very latest updates, pictures and video on this breaking news story.
Mirror World News.
June 22, 4:06 America, New York. Heartbroken dad dies after daughter, 14, murdered by satanic schoolboy killers. Anna Kriegel, 14, was killed in May 2018 when she was lured to an abandoned house and sexually assaulted before she was beaten to death by Ireland's youngest ever killers. New York Times World News.
June 22, 3:44 America, New York. A Russian journalist's Nobel medal sells for $103.5 million. Dmitry A. Muratov won the Nobel Peace Prize last October.
Time. June 22, 2:57 America, New York. A Japanese court says the country's same-sex marriage ban is constitutional. LGBT activists say that won't stop their fight. LGBTQ rights in Japan suffered a blow on June 20, when a court in the country's third most populous city ruled that freedom of marriage in the constitution referred only to male-female unions, and that the country's ban on same-sex marriage was therefore constitutional.
World News. Breaking international news and headlines, Sky News.
June 22, 1:52 America, New York. Plane crash lands at Miami Airport and bursts into flames after landing gear fails. A plane carrying 126 people caught fire after it was forced to crash land at Miami International Airport when its front landing gear failed. Pic. Pedro Portal, Miami Herald, AP.
RT World News.
June 22, 1:42 America, New York. Senate advances sweeping gun control bill. The wide-ranging U.S. legislation cleared a procedural vote with the help of more than a dozen Republicans.
Washington Post World.
June 22, 1:17 America, New York. Afghanistan earthquake kills at least 155 people. Afghanistan's state-run news agency is reporting that at least 155 people have been killed in an earthquake in the country's eastern Paktika province.
World News. Breaking international news and headlines, Sky News.
June 22, 1:17 America, New York. at least 255 killed after 6.1 magnitude earthquake in Afghanistan. At least 255 people have been killed after a 6.1 magnitude earthquake in southeastern Afghanistan, officials have said. Sky News breaking.
The Washington Times stories. Advocacy.
June 22. 1:16 America, New York. Eastern Afghanistan earthquake kills at least 255 people. An earthquake struck eastern Afghanistan early Wednesday, killing at least 255 people, authorities said.
BBC News World.
June 22. 1:12 America, New York. Afghanistan earthquake. At least 250 killed and scores wounded in Paktika province. At least 250 people are killed in Afghanistan's Paktika province after an earthquake struck overnight.